Hello, and welcome to Content Breaker on whatever week it is, the first week of November, the week that we are going to do one of my favorite anime movies, Belle, and I'm joined by three of my favorite people, four including me, because I count myself. I got the beautiful, strangely entertaining, the illustrious Bow before Zog, and the incredulous Kelz. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Apparently, I'm lustrous.
So wait, this wasn't Summer Wars 2?
Shut up.
Bruh,
Or
don't
Digimon
get
War
me
Game
started.
2?
No,
Yes.
fuck War Game. But
Wow.
This
no,
wasn't-
definitely Summer Wars. Yeah, we'll get to
This
it. We'll
wasn't
get to
Summer
it.
Wars cross new One Piece movie?
I wish as
Man,
great
I
of
would
a
not
job,
be here if it was.
as great of a job that Studio Chizu did. I almost wish it was Madhouse.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I kind of mad wanted okay, Studio Cheeseru did a great job on this, but I was just here the whole time I was watching. I was like, man, if Kyoe Annie did this, but then no, because this was a labor of love from the studio, and I am happy that it came all the way it did. But let's tell people what we are about today, and that is Belle. Belle is a 2021 movie, which is kind of a play on Beauty and the Beast, but not the Disney one, which why some people have a problem with it because they think it goes off of the Disney Beauty and the Beast.
That is the biggest criticism I've heard.
Yes,
That is legit
read
the
a
biggest
book
criticism.
and know that everything didn't come from America.
Why is
Nothing
that
came from America.
a...
Yes, Strange? Speak
I'm
with
just
your
like,
mouth.
why is that such a big deal? I don't even... Who cares? I mean...
Oh, I mean,
Whatever.
because Disney is
Because that was their childhood, and that's what they wanted.
And Disney is the largest media conglomerate in the West. Almost, I'm not citing real sources here, almost bar none. They own ESPN, ABC, and everything animated ever.
I'm pretty sure since they acquired Fox, no, that is a fair statement, just bar none. It's Disney.
So for
Facts.
people, especially people in the West, to go and relate it to their knowledge base, it's it's taking what you know and comparing and contrasting to the new adaptation, because that's the secret that the plebs don't understand is it's an adaptation of other stories that came before.
Yes. So once just automatically throw that out of your mind. Just go into this movie with no expectations. I feel like that's the best way to enjoy it, because then you just get fully immersed with everything that's happening. It is produced and distributed by G Kids in the USA. So that means you got the people who did the Studio Ghibli, the people who are bringing us Evangelion here in December, all those brand
Some
name
Makoto
stuff.
Shinkai stuff.
Yeah, some Makoto Shinkai stuff with Suzume later in November or whenever we get it here in the States.
Please, let's get it.
So that's the type of vibe you get from this movie. But the basic synopsis of it follows Suzu, our 17-year-old protagonist, who lives with her father in the rural town of Kochi, which is the textbook definition of rural Japan. There's one big shop. I don't think there's a mall. There's one school, so everybody knows everybody. And it kind of takes place in a futuristic society where the metaverse, if you will, is very prevalent. So everybody has digital avatars. It's very Drain said at the beginning, it's very Summer Warsy type vibe.
When we're ready, I want to talk about that.
Okay. Yes.
Tell me when.
In the character and world building section.
Don't just keep going with your synopsis. We'll figure that out.
So basically, yeah. So it goes. So we see, of course, Suzu feels like an outcast and it deals with a lot of themes. It's basically this massive online world called You, where everybody has an alternate reality and can kind of be who they want. And then Suzu creates her own avatar, which there's a whole thing and it's just a whole story, but we'll get into that. And yeah, it is a whole spectacle and a production, and I absolutely love it with my whole heart. And yeah, but go ahead, Kelz, what were you going to say?
Okay, so immediately the thing that comes to mind is Summer Wars, and we talked about Madhouse in passing. But there's a reason, right? There's a reason. With a brief wiki look, the reason that Belle, one, feels so similar to Summer Wars is not only thematically, with the whole idea of this AI world, and this is at least 10 years out from Summer Wars. Times has changed. The internet has progressed. We're in the same concept with different nuance now in 2021 versus 2009.
Yeah.
But not only, thematically do we feel that vibe, but also Studio Chizu was founded by Yuichiro Saito, who both have ties to Studio Madhouse. Of course,
that makes a lot of sense.
Of course, Saito being the producer for Summer Wars.
Yeah. And getting into the production, Maru Hosada is also the creator of Summer Wars. So that's why, they have the same vibe, because he created Summer Wars as well.
And he's also the co-founder of Studio Chizu.
Yes.
This
So
is some Gynax shit. I'm so excited about this anthropology, man.
I know, right? Like, the production is such like a huge thing about this movie. It's basically like can be described as, I feel like, as one giant concert with like themes and plot points put into it to guide it along in story format. So like the production is huge, and Mamoru Hosada, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who directed and writ and like created this, also directed and created Wolf Children and Summer Wars, and he had a big hand, like a huge hand, in like Digimon War Game, because he was the director of that, like the whole movie and the 3 OVAs that we call in the States movie, which is wild.
Thank you. The ska soundtrack of 2000 and whatever.
Yes, the soundtrack to our dreams.
Now,
so 90s.
I want to take it back, though, to the beginning. Not only to where Studio Chizu got founded, but way, way back, where Yuichiro Saito and Hosada met. They actually worked together on the opening of Samurai Champloo.
Yes, that is crazy. Like, they
blew
like,
my mind.
Yes, and did you also know that he directed? He did that, but he also directed a few episodes of Rurouni Kenshin as well, like storyboarder.
I could see it.
So
he apparently
was
also did the film Mirai, which
yes.
I don't know if y'all have seen that. That's actually really cool.
I have
movie.
not seen Mirai. I need to watch that. And I also need to watch the film he did, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, because I heard that was really good as well. And Wolf Children, I refused to watch because I heard it was super sad, but like I need to watch it because I also hear that it's amazing.
Next year, Sad Boy September.
Oh no.
But he also did the storyboard for Revolutionary Girl Utena, which ties back to Utena when we did it. So he's probably
he's had his hands full and stuff we've already done.
He's the reason we got Cars, and he even worked on like Sailor Moon as well. Like he was a key animator in Sailor Moon Super S, the movie. So like,
all I'm saying is, what the fuck am I doing with my dreams? Like, why am I not achieving things?
Because we live in America.
Well, I mean, I also say that as I'm fucking, graduate degree and hoeing my ass off, whatever.
Yeah.
Go get there one
That's
day.
the real reason you need to hoe yourself out more.
Back to Belle, even though he is my goat and done Yu Yu Hakusho and Digimon and all the things that I love. So the only thing that he is missing, because he's worked on Yu Yu Hakusho as well, the only thing this man is missing from like my top echelons are like basically Fruits Baskets and Fairy Tail, but those were after. Well, it's okay.
This man being Mamoru
Hosada. Yes, sorry, I put some respect on his name. Thank you, Kelz. But yeah. So like the production and the sound quality. Normally, I'm just like, we got to focus on the director and the producer, which is the same person. But we got to talk about the sound on this as well, which was an incredulous job by Taisei Awase. He worked on the music along with Yuta Bambaru and Ludwig Forsen, which where it kind of got like that. Like, I'm assuming Ludwig is, um, very not Japanese. Um,
How'd you know?
yeah, he actually worked on Death Stranding, the video game,
All right.
Yeah.
and he's widely held as a masterpiece for that soundtrack, and he's won multiple accolades and awards as well. And he was also working on composer of Metal Gear Solid 5. So for
That
all
explains a
those,
lot.
and
Okay.
he's Swedish, so that's where we get kind of like that. I feel like Gaelic / like European feel in some of the songs. Like we literally have Gale, like which is a European term for song or word for song. Gale of Songs or Gale of Darkness. I don't know. Gale of something. Oh, listen.
Gale is a wind.
Yes, Gale of Song.
Like,
That's the
like
name.
blowing, like the saxophone. Now I want to talk specifically about the orchestration and other decision making here.
Yes, for sure. For
So
sure.
two things.
Mhm.
One, orchestration. When we in the opening song, okay, time to mark out and be a band nerd here.
Yes.
In the opening song, the moment we hear marching snare as
Mhm.
such an emphatic sound, I'm like, okay, here we go. And we see this change. Not everything's using this marching snare, which has a specific snap to it. Blew me away in the first song. I was like, all right, I'm hooked. Here we go. You have got my attention. Fuck the visuals. Fuck the lyrics. I'm listening.
Yeah.
No, like the.
This-
Go ahead, Zog.
I don't often have, even when just musicals in general, there aren't often soundtracks and or movies that will just make me, one aspect captures me enough that I'll take it as just the soundtrack, or just the movie. It's usually just got to be one or the other. Like, I can't listen to the Hamilton soundtrack without watching the play. It just doesn't connect with me as well. This, I'll take in any form. I don't care.
Yes.
I will listen to this soundtrack full blast in the car, windows down and everything. Just driving down the strip.
And one of the reasons that works so well for me, continuing on that point, is because this doesn't feel like a musical, right? It's not
It
like
really
and suddenly
doesn't.
we burst into song. No, every time Belle and Shizu sings, it's for a reason. It has some plot relevance and motivation to get her to do so.
Yeah.
Like when we open, it's because she first has the opportunity to and the ability to without just vomiting from trauma.
Yeah.
And later on, it's because it's the only way she can communicate and break through to the beast. And so on and so forth. The singing, the musical notes that are of a big key point aren't just there as a scene transition. It's there to continue the plot.
Oh yeah. There's shit, what's his name? There's a documentary about the guy who was really big in making the Disney Renaissance just all musicals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he talks about how in musicals specifically, the story just, as the story goes on, the characters build more emotion. When the emotion hits a certain point, they start singing to show we've reached that level of passion and impact. And when it reaches a higher point, they start dancing and everything. This basically throws all of those rules out the window, makes all the music dietary, as in it is something you hear in that world. It's not just for the audience. And it works on the same fucking level.
Yes.
Blows my fucking mind.
Yes, like.
The one other point I've got, being an extra big nerd, is
Hi.
when we get into our characters and the high school and we're showing each of the different characters, we're showing our two main characters, and then looking at the saxophone playing hot girl, as we're cutting back and forth from focusing on the ensemble to them just talking up at the second floor of the school, we don't hear the music change time. It's consistently playing overall, but we hear the change in location, and that fucked me up because I was like, okay, I've got to look into how we do that. Of course, being, a professional student here, I'm like, okay, I want to be involved in the production of this. How do I make stuff sound like this? So, big weeaboo nerd moment. I loved the audio production in this. Please continue with the rest of our TED Talk.
No, I feel that. The audio, everything was just done so well. And from you said, a nerd perspective, I am a huge person of different cultures and understanding things from around the world. So when we the beauty of this is that these songs were written in Japanese for Japanese, but then they were also written in English for English. So it's not a direct translation. It's kind of like a cultural translation. Some of the words and things are said would be saying in the perspective of a English speaking person, and then there's certain idioms and things used for Japan in that version as well. So it's
is this the Fooly Cooly of musical anime?
Yes, this is the Fooly Cooly of musical anime. Which I overall anyway. So going to the next topic. So something that is really done really well are the character designs and the world designs in this are absolutely insane. The world of you, when we first get that intro and we see everything and it's the log on screen, I'm like, holy Yoko ain't have shit on this, bruh. It is crazy. We get the dial in, we see the avatar. Okay, so Strange, say words after Zog says words because you haven't said anything.
Sorry, real quick. One thing I do love about that whole avatar creation thing, I remember a line specifically in this that they're allowed to just take a picture of themselves or use a live capture image, and it will generate a avatar for them. But they also don't have to do that. They can create it all their own if they want to. Yeah. Usually when you get something like that, it's either one or the other, and you get no say in the matter.
No, that's really you is what cool. I want. If we get that, I'm here for the metaverse.
No, I feel the same way. I was like, yo, this is kind of what everybody was hoping for, but metaverse can't even get legs right. So I think we're still a little far off from any of that. But it's really cool. I like the technology where you just stick earbuds in and you can still walk around. It's like your mind is split, and it's really. They didn't really explain that part yet. It was wild, and I was like, "So wait, you can go to school, but also simultaneously just be in a computer somewhere? All right,
Well, I think there was certain things, because we saw that you did have to be on the computer or tapped in, because especially a scene with the end, when the dad douchebag ripped out the computer and everything and went offline. There's that whole struggle thing. But yeah, so but two designs that I feel were just absolute bangers. Well, there were multiple designs, but I really loved, for one, Belle's design. I thought that was really fire, and I loved how just the whole thing of it, of her hating her freckles and everything, and then when we went into you, that was what made her character avatar so beautiful, and just the way and the grace and how fluid it was.
I love how when she first sees the avatar, she's thinking it's the popular hot girl at school, and then just add the freckles, and it's just, oh, that's clearly me.
Yeah,
but everyone treats her the same as the hot girl.
There's deeper, there's, and I think that there's a lot of themes in this. Literally watching this, I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this. There's way too many layers.
And watch it with
themes.
your wife this time, like I told you to the
Way
first
too many
time.
layers and themes.
Schedules,
over
man,
everything.
it sometimes don't work out.
And like the whole like, oh, this is like, oh yeah, hot girl, and then just add freckles, like this is me. And you know, that kind of plays into like how some people kind of view themselves. Or maybe I'm wrong in this, but like you kind of, your voice, you know, you sound different when you hear back your audio recording and everything. You're like, oh, that's not me, you know, but it clearly.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I will sometimes listen back on just the whole podcast and everything. The moment I hear my own voice, I'm just like, what the fuck?
No, I feel that.
And I've done it like 100 times and I still do it.
So I think part of the whole theming in the end is like coming back around to being like, nope, this is me. This is who I am. This is how I perceive myself now. There was a lot to unpack. I'm still trying to unpack it.
Yeah. Just
yeah.
It's a lot. And going back to like the character designs and everything, like Belle has a really good design. I like what they did, how they incorporated design into the storytelling aspects as well, especially with like the Beast. And that's another complaint. People had issues that the Beast looked more like a dragon than a beast, and I'm like, okay,
he was
called
a dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, a beast is just an animal you can't identify.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like,
identify that motherfucker.
I was an internet warrior for a bit. Go ahead.
Those same motherfuckers who think this is just, you know, a rip-off of Disney are the same motherfuckers who are mad it doesn't look like the Disney Beast. Fuck
Thank
them.
you.
He's not sexy enough. I don't understand. Like, first off, 14-year-old boy. Didn't know if you knew that. Secondly, get a life, please.
I'm trying to tell you, like, but even though it's beautiful as like the avatars were and the freedom, like I really loved that. The thing that had me was probably the world of you, like just seeing like Beast's castle, the like big open area where everyone like socialized, like the cities, like, and the fact that there were so many different environments in this movie, like, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen a movie and we've like had just little space to work with, but like the fact that this felt so open, like with the chase scene, like, and we saw all of that, and then not even just that, like seeing the bridge in the real world, like the flashbacks to the waterfalls where the incident had happened, like the store, the school, like the marching band.
I will say, virtual dome was, it felt massive. I was like, that's a huge dome. I feel it.
I have rarely seen a movie where it feels so expansive and yet so intimate. Like, it's kind of like an oxymoron in the fact that you have all this room to do anything, but all I care about is the small space our characters are taking up.
No, you're right, like 100%. And like, just seeing like the difference in characters, and I loved how like you didn't know certain people were people like until the end of the movie. Like we find out the women from like the choir club were like there the whole time, like in the world of you.
They knew everything all together.
Like we saw that her friend Hayase, and like we saw all these characters and everything. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Also the fact that like I'm really sad we didn't see who Peggy Sue was, because I really wanted to know what she looked like. She was the like first diva singer. Like I wanted to see her real life avatar.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I watched this movie dubbed, so, and I think the character you're talking about was voiced by Christina V. So that's immediately why I imagine when I think of her in like a real life.
But Peggy Sue, we see, especially in that big climactic moment where we're singing our hearts out. She's like, "Oh my God, she's a regular girl, just like me."
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so
fire.
I don't think it really matters that we get to see her because she's not some relevant character, you know.
That was fire. Yeah.
With the rise of VTubers, this is a glimpse at the future where everybody has their own virtual avatar.
where everyone's a VTuber.
Oh no.
I'm not mad at it.
Not gonna lie, I'm looking forward to that then, especially with some of the VTubers I've seen.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, no, there's so much going on in the world, like, and there's like the sunsets were beautiful, like the scene where like the whale, man, like the speaker whale was so dope. Like that
Kinda
was,
freaks me
I
out a
felt
little bit, but
Like
I was like,
it is
"What's
a little
wrong with
freaky.
it?"
It is a little freaky. I will give you that. But
I was
at
here
the same,
for it.
it is super cool. Like I'm imagining a real world equivalent is them putting those massive outdoor speakers that they use at some concerts on the outside of a bus and just having the concert on top of the moving bus.
Like that is probably what it's like. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was going through it, and like I watched not Flex but Slight Flex, okay? I rewatched this on my 80-inch TV in the back room with the sound system. So when the whale came through, I was dark and I jumped a little bit because I kind of low key forgot about it. And I was like, yo, this is fire. And then I went back and I rewatched that scene and I realized the whale was moving its tail to the base, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that attention to detail was
It's crazy.
fire. And like for some reason I was like, yo, I would see this at a Gorillaz concert. Like I feel like if the Gorillaz like did another like virtual concert, it has to have whales with speakers on it. Like,
And from what I'm hearing here, anytime we do a movie version for this podcast, we need to do it at Kai's house.
Right?
yes. Let me live my life. Yes.
Oh, you can live your life. We just want to be invited to that shit.
Oh,
because
no, I don't know
damn,
why I
that
said
sounds
that.
awesome.
I don't know why I said that, but no, it was a time. Like it was a time. But yeah, characters crazy, world building crazy. So now we can get into the like meat and grind of the plot and the theme of Belle. So Strange, I know you said there was a lot of themes, so why don't
A
you like
lot.
tell us
I
what
mean-
like themes you identified?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's like obviously grief and dealing
Grief,
with
yeah.
dealing with that and how people express grief in different ways. Love is there, but like not lovey-dovey love, but just like appreciation for each other as like people kind of thing.
I do love how the only like romantic kind of love we get is like thrown on the back burner as like, yeah, it's here, but who the fuck cares?
Yeah. And you know what? Let's run down the plot, like full spoilers and everything, so we can like explain the themes a little bit more. So
Her
yeah,
mom is dead.
yes. So Shizu's
It is a
mom's
Disney
dead,
movie.
and you're one of them. You're
I made
Go to
that
Reddit.
same. I made that same joke coming out of the
Truly
theater. Thank
is
you.
A Disney movie.
Lord. So we see
She's a
that
princess then.
we see that Shizu's mom is died, but she died saving another kid, which has kind of impacted Shizu on very level and caused her for other reasons to be like kind of distant from her father because her father is just kind of always working and like they have like that dissonance between them, so she really just is very like self-independent and in her own head the whole time, minus her dog and her friend. But she goes to school, she feels like less than a hero, or less than a hero, but like she feels less
Than a person.
Yes, less than a person, which is like very indicative of the times that this is in. Like she's in high school. None of us know what it's like to be a female in high school, but we all know that high school has a bunch of insecurities and stuff that a lot of people will prey on and just sometimes not even subconsciously realize that they are preying on, as I'm sure everyone has experienced.
Don't remind me.
Okay. So
Oh shit.
we see that she's going through this and she tries like there's escapism in like just the things she does, and she goes to this choir practice, but she can never really like sing because she hasn't been able to like sing since her mom passed, because that's something
They did together.
yeah.
Literally throws up every time she even tries to sing, which I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And this
She-
is the first
She
moment.
needs the mask.
This is the first moment it fucked me up when they were doing things together with a parent, and it was like, man, if only.
shit.
Yeah.
And then she vomits, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, they didn't blur this. This is whole ass physical reaction.
It was,
Yep.
ugh.
Damn.
No, I was
It-
like, "Eek."
It's a visceral one.
Yeah. And
She didn't even wipe it off. She still had it when she went to go home to make the avatar. I was like, go clean your face off at least.
it'd be like that, man. Sometimes
Like
hey,
when you that fucked up, sometimes you just don't care.
I guess, but
sometimes it'd be like that, Strange. Sometimes it'd be like that. But yeah, so she goes through. Her friend tells her about, hey, how about joining the world of you? So she joins the world of you, and she uses like a picture of her whole class, and it digitizes her, but it presumably confuses her for her friend in class, but just adds her like freckles, which are kind of like facial decorations. And then she gets thrown in the world of you, and she's just living her life, figuring out where
Immediately
everything's going
starts singing.
on. Yes.
No, doesn't do anything else. Gets into you, realizes she can sing, fucking sings. That's
then-
the plot.
Yes.
Instant hit.
Everybody's
Instant
like,
fucking hit.
wow.
Well, I
And-
wouldn't say instant. Actually, a lot of people were like, "Ew, what are you singing for? Get out of here! Like, gross." Which I was
And
like,
then-
"That's a
Hey,
weird reaction to
Look,
someone singing in the middle of the street."
Look.
I guess.
look. The fact that it turned around in 2 seconds, I'd call that an instant hit.
Of course, we had her best friend producer out here, kind of adding to that by like, you know, making clips and then putting them out and everything. And eventually they end up like competing with other people like Peggy Sue and just finding all these other people to like, you know, kind of one up, not like one up on purpose, but ends up doing that. And
it's
she
a healthy competition.
yeah, she becomes a U star and starts climbing the charts, and like we get like you know, noises, songs with speakers and red dresses and costume changes, and eventually she books like a stadium tour. So she's got like this stadium, and then on her first gig, like the dragon comes in and just flubs everything up, and like they're like, oh no, it's him, like it's the dragon. He goes around like fighting people, and we see all that. And then we simultaneously, when we get introduced to Dragon, we get introduced to like the Justice Squad or whoever they are, like basically a walking advertisement, which I thought was
They-
hilarious.
Kind of. They never really explain it, but I guess it's inferred that no, this dude, like, there's no, like, later on he talks about how there's like there actually is no police force in you. They're the ones, but they're sponsored, basically. So
Yeah,
it's just kind of like a private business where they just go around beating up people and stuff.
but I love
It's this world's version of internet security.
I love the like almost meme ability of just all the sponsors that show up when they show up. Like it's just this whole list
It's
of
like,
like
that-
sponsors.
it's
that-
like hot sponsor pose.
Yeah.
Sponsors pop up in the back.
I'm not trying to say this as like a criticism of the movie, but if there was one thing to criticize, that was the one moment where it almost took me out of everything just because of how fucking ridiculous and memeable that is.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
It was so goddamn funny. I nearly fell out of my chair in the theater. But goddamn. It took me a
Yeah.
second. It took me a second to get back into the movie.
Yeah. And then like we see she goes on this thing where she's like, I want to find out who like the dragon is, like what is this creature? He looked like he was in pain because Shizu/Belle has a like generous heart. Like she's naturally a generous person, and you know, the whole epithet of Beauty and the Beast, so we have to have our beast. And she goes to try and finds him, and she's like, don't look for me, and there's this whole stuff that ensues. And eventually she finds out that the beast is a victim, like someone who's being like bullied or something happening to them in the real world. And she's like, I want to help this person and figure out what's going on. And then further drama pursues by like the Justice Committee following him and everything, and then other people trying to figure out who Belle is in real life and everything.
That
Yes.
reminds me, do we ever find out why the Justice Society is actually like after him?
He's
Because
just
I'm trying to think back and I don't remember any reason that they're trying to get him.
Because he's taken away all of the excitement and attraction from the Justice Society. He's gone like 302, or like 372 to to 2 losses in the arena. He's beating people up, and it's just a petty feud that seems to be a big deal. Because
Yeah.
like
Okay.
the Justice Society
That's right.
is not actually sanctioned by anything. They're just like, how the fuck does he have a green gun that reveals their bullshit? Like, God damn it, Japan, answer my questions.
Because of the sponsors.
Because
Why?
of
But
the
yes.
5 voices that we never meet. Sequel, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those sponsors was Best Buy, so he was just given the tech.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Mr.
But-
Raid Legends gave this gun to me.
Lord. But she goes to find it, and then she ends up finding him, and like that he's actually a victim of abuse from his family, and that's like a huge thing. So it gets kind of like broadcast, and everybody sees what's happening, and like she's
Total
like, I gotta go.
accident.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta go save this kid or this person out there in the world who I've never met, but not before he's like, you just look down on me. You don't know what I want to do. So they got to have a concert/face reveal, which is epic.
Gosh. That was,
Um,
I sobbed. I can't. I was
a million, like 8 minutes,
Uh.
bruh. 8 minutes and 2 seconds is
Yeah.
like,
This
it-
movie
it was
won't
essential-
break me. It broke me.
It's essentially this whole, you don't understand my trauma. Well, let me overcome my trauma. Then you'll believe me.
We're not going to stop until you comprehend why we're doing this and why it's important. Oh my God, man. When
Sounds like the internet.
so I'm not even sure where we are, but I'm going to talk about this for a moment.
yeah, for it.
Go for it.
So the whole thing, right? This big climactic moment. We go on, and she finally she begins to sing, and homeboy, the love interest, rolls up, and he's like, Shizu, fucking sing. And everyone's like, no. Well, the best friend's like, no, she can't. And he's like, no, fuck that shit. She can sing, and this is for her own goals. I believe in you, goddammit. Sing. And she begins to sing, and during this time, like at the early part of the climax, she has a flashback to her mother, and you're just like, oh, he flashed back now? What? But it's not just a flashback for no reason, right? It's not to remind you of her trauma. It's to and I might be projecting. It's to observe the decision of her mother to go into the river and try to rescue this child from a different perspective, and that perspective of, I'm willing to do what it takes at the cost that whatever may come, right? This is going to cost me something to take action, but it is of value to act. And for her mom, that came at the cost of her death. And for her, that came, as a teenager, at the cost of the loss of anonymity, the pulling back of the curtain. But she comprehended that was one and the same. It was of the same mind with making that decision. And she fucking followed through. Which was one part of why this scene was so goddamn good. Anyways.
Yes. No, 100%. Like, it was a whole, like... And, like, the lyrics of the song, too, man. Like, A Million Miles Away just, like, freaking, like, broke me. It's like, okay, it's like the chains that tie my heart. Like, I was like, bruh, as someone who's been low-key, high-key, going through some really bad anxiety lately, like, rewatching this movie helped a lot. Because I'm like, just like the freeingness of that happening was, like, so, like, opus. Like, it was in the opus of the movie. Like, I don't even use that word that often, but, like, third time opus. Like, it was so good, and, like, tying into, like, the themes of, like, breaking free from, like, your own chains. Like, you just, and seeing yourself for who you really are, like, man, listen, I wish I could go put on some boxing gloves and square up against these people who were, like, dogging on this movie. Because, like, did you even watch it? Like, did you...
Do you even appreciate the symbolism and the character and world building and the music and the artistry? No.
Did you fucking even read the subtitles. Like,
plebeians.
Like even in English, I think I've watched this in English and subbed, and like both hit really well. Like, and the thing that blows my mind is normally when things are like subbed or dubbed, like because this is originally in Japanese, and then when you hear songs, they're normally either stay in Japanese or like, no offense, like lose a lot coming from the translation. But like both, like I have the full soundtrack in English and Japanese. And I will back to back listen to the song in Japanese and then go around and listen to it in English because it's just that much of a banger. Like when I left the movie theater with Zog and we drove separately, I pulled up next to him at the light. I was like, I found it on Spotify. I'm crying. And he's like, me too. And he didn't even have the music playing. So, like,
No, like legit. What I was listening to, I paused it and just listened to what he had going on, and I started crying.
like it was a whole time. Get the cat off the screen. But like,
Let the cat be the cat.
yes, the cat can be the cat because it's the Belle show, so you can be pampered. But what's your next strange? Yeah. So you were saying about some of the themes that you had identified with in Belle.
There's just a lot. I mean,
Say
you
two.
want me to expand upon them or list them? That's the
I want you to say two that resonated with you.
okay. Two that resonated with me. Definitely the kind of being your own person aspect of it. That kind of like, all right, be strong, be your own, even if like your past traumas come through. And then the whole, I don't know, the brother standing up for the brother. I don't know if it's just me, but the observation I made was that the little brother, does he have like a disorder? I don't want to say disorder.
I felt like
Like,
it was
mentally
Hey,
handicapped.
Yeah, I felt-
Developmental
I
problems,
would-
yeah.
I was gonna
Trauma,
say on the
maybe.
spectrum, but
yeah.
I thought
it could-
so.
it could easily be that he has early childhood trauma that he doesn't know how to deal with. He definitely has this thing where he will like shut down. Like in
But
that
just-
in that scene where you find him singing in front of the webcam, and then shit starts happening. It definitely looks like he will shut down into his own world. That usually comes from trauma.
I'm gonna
Then
go with
again,
it. It's left open to interpretation because my vibe from my background was like, oh shit, yeah, no, I definitely couldn't handle this shit. But I think that there is certainly something going on, and it has a relationship to do with when the trauma of losing their mother and their father becoming unhinged begins in their point of development, right?
But
Yeah,
going back,
I agree.
I mean, just his offstairs, it kind of reminded me of like me and my brother and how I would have to stick up for him sometimes, when people would laugh at him or make comments or anything. And it's just, like I said, there was a lot in this movie. I was like, I did not expect all of this. I just thought we were going to watch it, maybe like have some sad moments, have some happy moments. But I'm like, it's just,
didn't
No,
expect it
it's-
to be so real.
yeah, it's,
No, it's-
well,
It's a lot. And like
Yeah.
one of the things for me was like, like as someone who's like lost a parent, like it comes in at like times, like just random things, like because you just think about like, and having like that be almost of a choice. Like I couldn't like imagine, like so from Suzu's point of view, like I definitely understand where she's coming from with like dealing with that trauma and kind of being the way she is. And luckily, it didn't push me away from like my remaining parent, but like you can definitely see how things happen in that aspects. And like even when I got in like not like singing, but like one thing that me and my dad used to do together all the time was like watch football. Like I would literally for like the first 6 Sundays after he passed, like every time I see a football game, I would just like cry. I was like, nah, like I can't even watch it. So it's like having those feelings brought up by this, like definitely understand. Like, oh, this movie's so good, man. Like so good. But from like the themes and plot, like just some of the characters, are there characters you guys identify with, or like just felt like were really like strong and just I don't know, man. There's just like Suzu's such a good character, like, and then but also my boy Hisate is just like low key the goat, man. Like, which is Suzu's like technical love interest, I guess you could say. Even though
The
it wasn't
childhood friend
Yeah.
turned quote unquote love interest.
really... Yeah,
Well, I love-
the
I might be a big old weeaboo, but I love the fact that he was still there for her, and their relationship devolved. Where after she became revealed as Belle, he was like, "Fucking finally, you're out here standing up for yourself. You can sing again, and we can be regular ass friends," which frees up the relationship for them to go
Yeah.
off later on, off screen. God damn it. Into a relationship. That's the assumption that will continue off screen.
yeah,
We see
And-
the growth, not the results.
yeah.
Yes.
I
I-
kind of resonated with the canoe guy a little bit. He's just kind
Yes.
of doing his thing. And he's like, I want to have a,
Shinjiro.
yeah, I want to have a canoe club. And then he's like, I'm gonna joke whenever a girl's like, oh, I'm gonna root me on. Haha, you must like me. Just kidding. And then the one time the joke is like, oh wait, you, for real? You
Yeah,
actually
Ruka
like
goat.
me? Wait a minute,
Ruka-
hold on, I wasn't prepared for this.
No, Ruka is definitely a goat in this. I love her as well, and I love how she didn't turn out to be like she's the popular, attractive, nice girl. Like what you don't see that much anymore, because always has to be like a subverted expectations. But no, like she was just really nice. And as a saxophone player, I gotta say respect to her as someone who also plays the saxophone.
And also the fact that she's playing a saxophone in the alternate, reality universe. Like, not
Yes.
singing, fucking playing the saxophone. We cut
Yeah.
back to reality and she got her saxophone out. Like, god damn it.
I love that. I love that.
Continuity. Do it to me, man.
Yes. Like, I just, man. And Hisate, when he was like, "You're Belle, right?" Like, just how he just straight up asked.
Just super deadpan, just like, yeah, we know.
I love how this movie does, like, the characters, because it's like, Shuzuru's, like, trying to hide the fact that she's Belle. Hisate knows that she's Belle. Shuzuru's convinced that Ruka is in love with Hisate. Ruka's in love with Shinoru, or however you pronounce his name, Chigami. Canoe guy. And, like, there's so many expectations are, like, subverted, but so many are, like, met. It's like, you just don't know where to go with it. And then you get the whole thing of the beast being, like, the one that's being bullied and, like, abused, which is wild. The one who everybody thinks is the aggressor. And he's the one being aggressed. And seeing how at first, it's almost like, okay, so it's the serial killer that paid off. And this... Kelz knows what I'm talking about. Because when we were talking about... I want to eat your pancreas. We were
What?
teased. Let me explain.
What?
So when we were watching I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Miles Bowlers, there was a serial killer that was teased that was never like done anything with. And here we kept hearing about like this businessman who lost his wife, who was doing all this and everything, but we kept seeing him on the news. But like it didn't seem like he was relevant at all. And then like the last little bit, we found out, oh, he's super relevant because he's been abusing his kids, which created the beast. So I was like,
Okay, yes, I follow you. I think this show does a very good job at setting up the hooks for you to follow along with the story, right? So early on, when they're like, "Who's the beast?" and we get this kind of footage of the kid in white, who's all like, "The beast is my hero," and then we get the interview footage with the two kids and the dad being like, "Yeah, these kids are great. They love, experience. They don't have a mom, but they're fucking great kids." That
When they
scene
listen.
setting up later on the reveal to the fact of who is actually the beast, and then explaining some deeper things. This movie does a very good job at setting that up. And it has to, right? It has to. It does a good job of not being too in your face. But if you're paying attention, you fucking know exactly who the fucking beast
Oh
is.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was like that one. Right there. That's
Oh
the,
yeah,
that's the
like
guy.
fucking hell. Any good mystery, like actually fuck, uh, just like with the movie Knives Out, a good mystery, it gives you all the clues going in. You should be able to figure it out your first time viewing it. But when you watch it a second time and you realize all of the clues were given to you beforehand, you start picking up on it super quick, and suddenly you're like, how the fuck did I not see this?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched it, I thought Hisate could have been the Beast. And now on the granted, I've already watched it a plethora of times, but this time I'm like, there was no way.
There was no way.
Hisate is the childhood friend who's
Shinobu.
like,
Okay. No, yes,
Yeah.
I'm on the same page because there were two possible at the time they show us the hunt for the beast. There were two possible persons that could have been the beast, kind of plot wise. Like logically, these are the two that the narrative is gonna like place importance on, right? The random kid we show in unhappy with his dad, or the best friend. Absolutely. Those are the two characters we see that could possibly be the beast, logically. Unless we're going to go do some Summer War shit where everything just goes off the rail. The fucking meteor hits the house. We call in friends. Grandma dies. All this shit.
Always a possibility.
It doesn't do that, which I appreciate. I appreciate that Studio Chizu is like, you know what?
Nah.
We've done that before. Let's keep this kind of on the straight and narrow plot wise. Let's explain a comprehensive, like understandable narrative.
yes. And also, I love, like, speaking of that, I love how this is the first time that Mamoru doesn't use the big stadium fight that Sword Art Online ripped off in the first season. That, Digimon War Game is known for with Amimon and Diaboromon.
Oh, yeah.
Summer
okay.
Wars is known for that big fight, like, in the internet space. I love how this time is, like, utilized as, like, a concert and, like, the beauty of, like, bringing everything together with, like, the lights and everything. I'm like, yes, I am officially a slice of life hoe. Like, I don't need the action. I am here that it is like a different type of action and everything, and I'm glad that the assets were used differently
I was
this
about to
time.
say, do you think they're reused assets? Maybe.
No.
Let's just take it. Put it
No.
out here.
No, it's a movie. They don't do that for movies.
I know.
But as someone who vehemently would not consider himself a slice of life hoe, mostly because he doesn't like most slice of lives, this is fucking great as a slice of life, and it damn sure makes you feel for it.
Who is y'all's favorite character?
Fuck.
Or at least like a top 3, because I know there's a lot of good characters in here.
Personally, my favorite character is Shinobu, the soon-to-be boyfriend.
Yes, he is.
Because he's just like living his goddamn life. He's out here. He's already popular because he's playing basketball, but he gives a fuck about his childhood friend. Fuck social norms as they make, because we see that comes into play, and that's one of the major points I don't know if we've touched on, is the fact that kind of the social interaction between the real people and the AI people in their world relates, which is why the anonymity of the internet plays in, but I digress. My favorite character is Shinobu because he's out here like doing what he has to do to support his friend, and also, that plays in all the way through. In school, in front of people, fuck everybody else. I see something's wrong, fucking talk to me, goddammit. All the way to, I know you're Belle, when she's about to confess her feelings, presumably.
Yeah.
And then she runs off, and then he rolls in, and it's like, sing, goddammit, I know you can, and this is going to help you achieve your goals. You just have to do it, and I support you.
Literally,
he is like the one character who seems to have his shit together and knows how to help people.
Strange.
And definitely, when I was watching this movie, I said, "That's a Kelz right there. That's what Kelz would do." He would say, "Listen, just do the thing, okay? No nonsense. Just, come on.
Just do it."
Yeah.
I care about you, but I'm not going to tell you. I just want you to do the thing."
My
help
my
you get
runner
better.
up, my runner up is the entire choir squad. Like
Oh, yeah.
all of
Yes.
the older ladies who are like,
Yes, I love them.
"You're fucking in love with the bad boy."
You're
And we're gonna roll in when you need us, cause like moms was important to us, so are you. Like the
Fact.
support from them along with Shinobu. That's my favorite characters.
Fact. I gotta go with Shinobu as well. Obviously, Shuzu like slash Belle. I love it. I love Belle probably a little more than Shuzu, even though they're the same person. But like something about like that avatar and the fit, like I'm here for it. But like, I also gotta have mad love for Ruka and Hiroka, like the best friend and the saxophone player, close friend. They just held it down so well, like, and they're both supportive in different ways. And the fact that Ruka's like, "Yo, you gotta go for Shinobu," like 100%, like, I love that.
Yeah,
Jog.
I'd have to.
Yeah.
Hiroka,
It was
is
nice
that
that
the-
It was nice that there wasn't any fuck shit with that. It
I
was
like
really
that.
nice that was a red herring that the saxophone like popular girl didn't actually love Shinobu. There was no competition, but like it was a misunderstanding. It was a presumption that got like revealed.
And the comedy part, the whole civilization strategy game, like, oh my gosh, like you've started an all-out war between all the girls and they're gonna kill each other.
Yes,
That was
pivoting to that
hilarious.
whole like tactical hex
Mhm.
strategy game. Yeah.
That was great. The comedy in this, it was unexpected. I thought it would just be like, oh, la di da, slice of life, but it was funny. Genuinely made me laugh out loud a couple times. It's,
Who was your favorite character?
as for my favorite character, definitely the best friend. You said her
Hiroka?
name earlier, Hiroka. She was cool. Her avatar was cool. She was funny. She had giant monitors, just for,
Yes.
for no reason.
Well, her
Like,
parents were like the head of a company or something, so she was like loaded.
Just no
something.
reason. She's just that rich.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I loved when her parents rolled into that room. Well, first off, I want that office. Like, I want that
Yeah.
just to be a thing in my life.
I have no idea what I'd do with it, but I want it.
May I get to that point at 14? May I get to that point at 14 and just suddenly have that existence? But the fact that she was cackling maniacally and then was like, all right, you can no longer use this space. Like the parents laying down the law. I love that.
Yeah,
It was
that was.
freaking awesome.
Oh, I loved it. Zog, who's your favorite character?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just love this fucking movie. I
Same.
guess gun to my head, I have to pick
Gundam.
somebody.
Oh, okay. I was
Gun-
like, there was a Gundam.
Gun to my
Probably.
head.
Yeah, Ray Amuro from Gundam. Yeah.
He
My
was
favorite
in here.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it either be Suzu
Char.
or Hiroko. Hiroka.
Yeah.
Hiroka. Sorry. But I don't know, man.
You don't have to pick.
I
It's
feel-
fine.
I feel like if I pick somebody, I'm not really picking the right person.
Good.
Because each one of these characters brings something valuable to the table that I just can't outweigh with something else.
I feel that.
It's-
I feel that.
This movie is the complete package, and I fucking love it.
It is. It's
We didn't have a hard confirm. The little angelfish avatar that shows up at the beginning. And
That was the little brother.
That's the brother. Okay, that's cool.
yeah.
All right, I was like, that's the brother. That's got to be the brother because he saw her singing and everything. So there's the connection.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
that's how he was able to sing the song
Yep.
on the video, and they were like, "That's not him." But how does he know the song? Because it's the little fish avatar with the
Yeah.
brother. We get the big reveal about the child abuse. God damn it!
Yeah.
And we definitely saw both avatars go to the floor, and I was like,
Yeah.
Talking like
Pokemon.
once you put the two and two together,
Ooh, when Shuzu's sitting there and got hit, I was like, yo, like, ooh.
ooh, the stare.
That
we talked
stare
about
down.
that stare down. That was great.
Dude.
I got chills. I said,
Look,
yes.
man,
The dad was
that's
like, "Ooh."
that's one of those times. I don't care how hard you are, you back down.
Bro, the fact that they scratched her face and she was like,
Bitch, please.
Do it. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that was a
Do it again.
I bet you would.
Oh man, woo, Jesus!
The only thing I wish I knew the aftermath of all that. Like, did the dad stop being a douche? Did he continue, but they stood up for themselves, or
Child
what happened?
services.
Did child services step in and they're in foster care?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I don't,
Who knows?
I think that's my only, the whole other parts of the ending were oh, it's up to kind of your own, whether you decide if they got together or not, whatever, who cares. I just want to know are the brothers okay. But
I would say so.
I do want to know, but at the same time, I'm the main story was all about her. So the fact that she's in the best place she can be, fuck, I'm happy with the ending.
I would
Happy
say she's
enough.
okay.
Happy enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And lastly, what was a huge part of this movie was the songs and the music. Here's another hard one for you, Zog.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
What song resonated with you the most? Not what was your favorite, but was there a song or songs that resonated with you more so than any other? We had Gale of Songs, which was the upbeat Riding the Well song. Then we had A Million Miles Away, which was her giving the concert to find the beast. And then we had Lend Me Your Voice when she's trying to get everybody's attention, and You. There's so many bangers. But I think A Million Miles Away, or that was just a whole vibe for me. 8 minutes and 2 seconds of just her belting out her heart, and the lyrics are what really got me. I was yo, we out here talking about breaking chains.
No, when she first got in, she started singing, and then I was reading the lyrics, and I was like, dang, it's her grieving song.
Yeah, no, and
she's
then
finally able to grieve after how many years?
Mm-hmm.
When she was asking if life was worth living, I was yo, come back to me. And then the part where the chorus came in and everybody was la 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 la, I was yo, I had to pause. I had to pause. I had to pause.
Bruh. I said, hold on 1 second as I dry my face from
I was we are really out here. What a
fucking damn it.
In that moment, not only do we see she starts singing la la la, her light starts fading. That's when what the fuck is it? Susie Q or something?
Yeah. Susie Q just comes in, so
Peggy
hey,
Sue,
yo, I believe in you.
Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue's sing, goddammit. Sing, Belle. And then she starts singing too, and then Belle's spirit starts picking up, and she starts singing back again. La 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 la.
And then
the whale comes out, and then everybody...
They sing it together, and then the motherfucking whale comes out, and you're oh my god, it's about to be broken up. But no, it's the big support crescendo of the motherfucking sky whales. Yeah.
Such a good movie. Such a good movie. I mean,
damn it.
I'm gonna drop the N word. This is a masterpiece movie for me.
Oh, holy shit!
I wish I would have held y'all at gunpoint to come see in the theaters with me. I should have manhanded you.
I honestly have to say thank you, Kai, for making me see this in theaters. It was fucking amazing. I need to talk to some people and see if I can somehow get a personal screening of this in IMAX, because I 100% doubt I can make it happen, but I want to try.
Man,
y'all keep copies of things, right?
If you're talking about the theater itself, only for a certain amount of time. We
Oh.
don't keep them forever. But
This came.
as I
This came.
showed,
To, yeah, this
Blu-ray.
came to the States in January, so I think that's
Yeah.
when we saw it. Me and Zog literally saw this on like the 3rd or 4th day of the year. Like it was, and we were just like, "What a way to start 2022!"
Oh, I was
yeah,
out of town.
like,
I was out of town. There was no way.
No, you weren't out of town.
I was.
You were in town. You were in town. I remember.
like
Maybe
I
it was
remember-
like the later part of January, because like I remember. I'm gonna look at
Something-
I'm gonna find my ticket stub.
I'll honestly, I don't know if you can. I think I got us in that one for free.
Oh yeah, you did.
I don't remember.
It's so
why-
worth it though. Like,
Dude,
Yes.
I'd happily pay to see this one again.
yes. We'll just have to have something over at my house where we like freaking blast it.
Done.
Because
Watch
I'm
the
done.
Fruits
Tell me it.
Basket movies
He said
too.
done.
Tell
yes. Oh my god. Yeah, we got
it'd,
to.
it'd probably be the only way y'all get me to watch Fruits Baskets at this point.
Yeah. But anyway, like final thoughts on the movie Belle. I thought it was a masterpiece. I loved it. It was probably one of the best anime movies I've watched in recent years. Like, I hate that it didn't get the notoriety that it deserved. It got very overshadowed and I feel like underrated. But like that's okay because everybody doesn't need to know where gold is. Then everybody will be rich.
I don't know about that much. But yes, this is. Oh my god, this is an amazing fucking movie. I don't like using the phrase masterpiece, but I don't know how else to put it. You're fucking right. This is a fucking masterpiece. I love this goddamn movie. I don't understand how some people can have such a problem with it just because it's not the same thing Disney put out.
Uncultured, that's why.
Well,
Uncultured.
speaking as someone who does not like what Disney put out, I do not like the Disney Beauty and the Beast. This is the truest version to that story I've ever seen. And it's the best version of it. I love this adaptation.
I
love
like
the
that
story.
the
I love
love
this
didn't
music.
have to be romantic to be
Yeah.
meaningful.
Mhm.
Yes.
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 Amen.
We pivot
More
away
Preach.
from the Belle falls in love with the Beast, and that is the plot. And we have a love interest in the real world. What's this bucket? Shinobu.
Yes.
Shinobu.
Yep. We have a real life romantic love interest, and we also have this deep connection, platonically with the Beast that turns out to be this kid. And the dude's like, when they finally meet, and it's the hug. He's like, when you hugged me, I knew it was you, Belle. And Belle, I love you. And of course, she's not going to reciprocate romantically, but she says, "Thank you." Like,
Thanks.
I recognize and I see your feelings and I value them, and that's it. Because the man's also in Tokyo. That's like, they were like, when they missed the planes, the like mom family was like, "Are we gonna drive her to Tokyo?" But no, they took her to the train and took her to a bus, and it was a whole thing.
It still took hours to get there, but still.
Yeah, but like the fucking choir family was like ready. They were like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
are we about to have to do this? Because we fucking will."
Grandma
finding
Squad
districts,
is
like-
ready.
Yeah,
Man,
God,
love it. I love it.
I
love it so
fucking
much.
love this.
Love it so much.
I'm
Final
gonna have
thoughts?
to watch I'm gonna have to watch it again right after this podcast.
I got to save it till Christmas.
Oh, I'll watch it again at Christmas. I don't
I'm
care.
gonna need to recover before I watch it again. No.
Watch it with your wife this time.
She needs to know this pain too.
Yes, we got to indoctrinate her into the anime pain. She's already got the shonen down.
She was
Now
too
she needs
busy
to slice
catching
like
up
pain.
on One Piece.
One Piece can
Well,
wait.
that's our problem.
Okay?
Let her drop that shit.
No,
Okay, no, I didn't say that.
actually,
all right. Final thoughts.
I'll tell you all after the final.
Final thoughts. What a fucking movie, man. What an experience. 2 hours, and you are engaged the entire time. There are ups, there are downs, there are moments to breathe, and it all builds to fucking crying. And it is so good. I definitely recommend it.
Yes, I watch it. We might do it again on our other channel in Music March, because why not?
I thought it was Magical Girl March.
Musical
May. Yeah.
Mech, we got to figure out where we're putting it.
Yeah. Well,
Magical
we might
Girl
do it next
September.
week.
Depending on what paper I have to do, it might be next week you play it.
Hey, you acting like the Japanese name for Magical Girl doesn't start with an S. But yeah, it's like something with an S.
Sailor
Maho
Scout?
Shoujo. Maho meaning magic, Shoujo meaning girl.
Make sure you guys tune into this podcast and other podcasts.
That's a wrap. Go watch Belle. It's streaming for the Western, at least for the U.S. It's on HBO Max, but it's definitely worth the time to go find.
Go buy it, man. That's what I did. I
Go
lost it.
buy
but I
the
bought
record. Go listen to the soundtrack on repeat.
Spotify.
Mhm. All right, we're calling it a day. Catch us and more us on all your podcasts, like Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, and YouTube, WikiFace, at Content Breaker, or on Twitter at Content Breaker as well. Gentlemen, y'all have stuff too.
Yes, you can find me at Static Dreads with a Z on Twitter, where I have surpassed over 100 followers.
Woohoo!
Most of them
Keep
are
it going.
probably bots. But yeah.
Hey, take
Hey,
the number, man.
yeah.
Take the number.
Just
Take the number, no shame.
they ain't
True.
your bots, are they?
Thank you, Kings. But yeah, come on over. And now I turn it to that guy, who's hopefully right here.
Nope.
No,
Look for
no one's over
Strangely
there.
Entertaining on YouTube and Twitch, and there you'll find my Twitter. I try to stream on Twitch Tuesdays at 9. I'm gonna have to change that. So yeah.
Wednesdays at 6:30 in the morning is when his new stream time is.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Why not, though?
Coward.
That's all I'm saying.
Because I have work.
Because sleep is important.
Not at 6.
Yeah. Work
Then
is
I
a
would only
construct.
be able to stream for like 30 minutes before I have to get ready.
Work is a construct.
I try to stream at work, but I don't feel like I can do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unwise. We've gotten beyond that. You now have, I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Just communicate, unlike next week's.
Also, catch the other product at your typical Shonen Protagonist or your TSP on Twitter. That's URTSP. We'll catch y'all next week for more Content Breakers. Dog, we have a specific plan that is spelled out somewhere in a document that we've spent time on previously.
Quite specific. Quite
Presumably-
specific.
Presumably, changes are in the works. But what? I don't know. There's always changes.
Always.
What are we doing next week?
Let's see. Next week is Comey Can't Communicate.
Oh shit! That's
Oh
why we.
fuck! I haven't even started that.
Me
Wait,
neither.
Season 1 or 2?
Season
We already-
2.
Season 2.
Oh, okay, I'm halfway done with it.
Season 2.
Yay!
I watched
Next
it as
week.
it aired. You're all cowards.
Thanks, Netflix. Next week,
Yeah.
coming
How
in.
am I-
Communicate.
How
You're
am I
on
a coward
Content
for not watching something I don't care about?
Oh, time to call Hulu and tell them delete. No, tell them only give Zog the Spanish subtitle of
That's
fucking
No.
Thousand Year Blood War. Yeah.
I am still confused about that shit. Why the fuck is that a completely different tab?
That's what I'm saying. That came up on my thing. I was like, I thought I was watching this. I tuned to episode 4, and then it was like,
Only Spanish, no English subtitles.
"Me nombre es whatever," and I'm like, "Oh, what?" Anyways, next week on Content Breaker.
Fun time.